is pressing pause on a plan to build a $3.5 billion EV battery plant in Michigan. It was used for tech license from Chinese battery maker CATL. Controversial project had faced intense scrutiny from the public as well as the state. Ford claims that this pause doesn't mean that the project is canceled, but 2,500 jobs were expected to be at this plant. Have automakers stretched themselves too thin with a push to invest in EVs? And how will that play into the current strike?
They haven't pushed too hard yet. We're still in the middle of this transition, and it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar, multi-year transition. Tesla spent a decade losing money and spending billions of dollars, and it's going to take the traditional manufacturers another 10 years in order to ramp up to a large enough volume to make money on this. They do have legacy vehicles to make money on, and we're going to see this transition over a number of years, but it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time to get there, and we're just at the beginning of the shift.
Right, and we are at the beginning. No telling how long the strike will continue, and the longer it goes, the more ripple effects we will see. But how is the strike already impacting, if it is, car buyers and car owners?
Well, right now, the strike itself is impacting a couple of vehicles that are, in some cases, in high volume in the inventory in dealerships. But vehicles like the Bronco, which has already been delayed for a lot of consumers who have been waiting for these things for months, maybe even sometimes years, they'll still wait. These people will still wait for them. The problem comes down to the mid-sized pickup trucks like the new Ranger, the new Colorado, the new Canyon. These vehicles are competing for market share against Toyota that dominates this market, and Toyota is coming out with a new truck as well. So losing vehicles on the dealer's lot right now is a bad time for those vehicles against a strong competition.
Not only that, Sam, but the strike, you say, could impact parts distribution. And so if you're trying to fix your car, they could be seeing a deficit in parts, and you could be waiting to have an important fix that may keep you off the road.
Many consumers are already waiting for parts. The supply chain issues we've seen since COVID have impacted parts supply, and people have been waiting to get their vehicles fixed for weeks, even in some cases months. But this will only hurt that and push the pain down to the dealers who make their money on parts supply, and to the consumer who can turn quickly against the vehicle manufacturer if they can't get their car fixed.
How about other automakers across the country? Do they gain more leverage while this strike continues?
Absolutely. Like I said, Toyota has a market share advantage over mid-sized pickup trucks, and without competition, if the dealers can't get Rangers, can't get Colorados, can't get Gladiators, then their competition is diminished. So Toyota only stands to gain in this case, and other small pickup truck manufacturers like Nissan could also see a benefit.
Let's go through the demands here briefly. 36% pay raise for auto workers, 32-hour work week, 40 hours of pay, end of tiered wage system, job security in EV transition. Are these, at the end of the day, reasonable demands from the union?
Some of them are very reasonable. Having job security in this transition, we're going to see this transition for a number of years. So for the next 4 to 8 years, the next contract or two, we should be able to guarantee job security for these workers. The 36% raise has already been backed off a little bit, and so we're expecting closer to a 30 or maybe slightly lower than 30% raise over 4 years. It sounds like a huge amount of money, but it works out to being like 10% the first year and then 4% each year after that. It's a progressive raise that just keeps these people paid well and paid competitively for what should be middle-class jobs.
And what do you make of the president's, as we've termed it, unprecedented visit today to the picket lines? Will that make a big impact? Will it make a difference?
In the negotiations, it shouldn't make much of an impact. The problem here is that Michigan is a battleground state. So you're going to see both candidates coming into the state to make their statement that they're for the union workers. They want to get all the union workers in the country on their side, and standing up for this one strike is the most newsworthy and the biggest way to get their name in front of it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.